Donald Trump is here tonight. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
So President Trump is returning to the scene of the crime, attending the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner in Washington tomorrow night for the first time. And he's even preparing his first ever roast. The usual suspects in the media are bent out of shape, having a meltdown. Dan Rather and some 200 journalists have signed an open letter demanding that Trump be called out at the event. And Jake Tapper is planning a pocket square protest.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, so this is a special freedom of the press and freedom of speech pocket square.
What's it say? Show them.
There are a bunch of us that are going to be wearing these. These are from the Reporters Committee for the Free Press.
Okay.
And because there might be some guests there that are unfamiliar.
This year's event will break tradition by featuring a mentalist as an entertainer instead of a comedian. And the late-night TDS gang seems jealous.
The weekend of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which is why this Saturday I will again not be. But, and it's a big but for reasons that are not clear to me, many others will.
Live from the Trump Kimmel Center in Washington, D.C.
Expecting?
Oh, he's going to kill him. We're already hearing about the speech. It's going to be good. So he said he wasn't upset when Barack roasted him. He says he has a thick skin and he can take a joke, and he enjoyed it. Do you believe that? I don't know if I believe that, but I guess that's the folklore. Dan Rather's not going? Dan Rather? What is this? What year are we in? Dan Rather? This is the guy that gave birth to fake news. Who cares if he doesn't go? Jake Tapper, all right, with the little pocket square, that's what women do. Okay, women do like the squad. They all wear white to the State of the Union. Don't make a personalized pocket hanky and pass it out. That's just weak. That's not what real men do. And as a semi-real man, I don't buy it. Now, this is a really nice dinner. I mean, I've been to it a couple times. It's like black tie, free food, free drinks. There's celebrities. There's comedians. They're there with the president of the United States. Go. It's really fun. Like, if you're not, you're going to boycott like a great night. I mean, our jobs are so easy. We literally get paid to sit and talk. I mean, come on. People are going to feel sorry for you. How's the press under assault? You call the president and he picks up his phone. That's the best press access in the history of press.
The most open president in history, without a doubt. But Jessica, when you watch that clip of President Obama,
as Jesse did say, oh, he did do that to the White House. That is what the ballroom is going to look like.
Very gold.
You know, the Arc to Trump that we're going to be getting, the UFC cage on the White House. So, Obama, think about what you have done to us. In terms of our jobs being so easy, we're not reporters out in the field that spend years sometimes putting together stories. And those are the types of people who are being commended and
out in the field. You mean at the White House?
No, but it's not just those folks. It's people like Julie K. Brown, who was out there chasing the Epstein story when nobody cared about it, who paid her own way for a lot of it.
Julie Brown. She's a good reporter.
Yeah, okay, so Julie Reporter doesn't just sit in an air-conditioned studio all day and say, I'm a semi-man.
So, Kennedy, apparently the press is not, especially in D.C., is not left-wing, but they are really tedious scolds. And this whole thing about the pocket squares, it makes me want to throw up. It's just like, stop it already.
Well, maybe there's enough room in that pocket square to actually capture your vomit. Yep. I think you're just fine. And if you talk about a group of people who have a collective thin skin, it is the Washington Press Corps. Because last year, they got a tongue lashing from Alex Thompson, who co-wrote the book about Biden's senility. And Thompson stood up and said, you know, maybe we all should have been a little bit more honest. And I was in the room, and there were audible gasps. The press was like, oh, like, how dare you attack us for not doing the what for in the business end of his presidential arm. I think they are going to squeal like little piggies, and it will be really fun to watch. I'm excited to be in the room.
It will be a delight, no doubt. Greg, if you were writing some of these roasts for President Trump, what would you go for?
Oh, geez. I would just go one by one through the room. Just stare at them and tell them what you think.
Force them to get up and leave.
Yeah, a couple of things about this. Number one, I also have a disgust for Jake and Colbert talking about defending press freedom. Where were you guys on the big stories? You know, I get Colbert, but like, you know, there was a lot of, we could have used some press freedom when it came to Joe's brain. Like, where was CNN on that? Where was CNN on SPLC? You know, they ran with that stuff as if it was fact. COVID, they ran with a bunch of lies on that crap, the border crime. You can go through all of it. Kimmel and Colbert, they're torn up because Trump is funnier than both of them. And he puts on a better show than both of them. He can make both sides laugh, even people who don't like him. They can't even make their own side laugh because they're too busy weeping and wallowing. My feeling is, and I have to push back against my friends here, the White House Correspondents' Dinner exposes what the media is truly obsessed with, and that is their own status and their own ego. They want to feel important. They invite celebrities so to benefit by their proximity of fame. They crane their...
That's something.
Yeah, but also Jesse accidentally impersonated a Supreme Court justice, and the woman with the iPad was so young and so dumb that I walked up and I was like, she's like, "Are you on the list?" And I'm like, "Kennedy," and she goes, "Anthony Kennedy," and Jess goes, "Yes, that's me," and they let us right in.
Yeah, I would think that might not work. I think it's going to be I would imagine that President Trump is going to settle a lot of scores, and I'll be there for it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Domestic headlines. Here is a summary of the top stories currently leaded by Fox News. U.S.-Iran conflict and diplomacy. Negotiations in Pakistan. High-level talks are scheduled to begin today in Islamabad. President Trump has dispatched envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to meet with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Vance on standby. Vice President J.D. Vance is reportedly on standby regarding these negotiations, though he is not currently traveling with the delegation to Pakistan. Military presence. Recent reports highlight that 3 U.S. aircraft carriers are now stationed in the Middle East as CENTCOM maintains a high state of readiness. Economic pressure. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed that waivers for Iranian and Russian oil will not be renewed, signaling a tightening of the global blockade. National news and politics. White House Correspondents' Dinner. Coverage is ramping up for the annual dinner taking place tonight in Washington, D.C. SPLC indictment.